welcome to the shop. Well, as I showed you in the update, the project that's kind of taking priority right now is this game cart. And my buddy, his needs have changed. And so what I'm going to do is modify what we already have to satisfy his current needs. Now, as I stated in the update, I actually made two of these carts. Actually, one of them was one of those Bob, I don't know if that's a brand name, that's one of the brand names. It's one of those children's trailers that you hook up on the back of your bicycle. It has like a little canopy on there for one child to sit in. Well, we had modified one to make this game cart. And somebody else had previously modified it for him, and then I took it a step further, made it a little bit more functional, and then after making that one, I made one completely from scratch. I'll go ahead and show some pictures right now. You can see when I was building it, the before, and then the after. So what I'm in essence going to do is just take both carts and make them one length. And we're going to update some of the features, adding some tie-down mounts. We're going to have a handle, so it'll be like a push cart. We're going to have some cross braces that will also double as a place for him to mount guns. It's pretty open, and I designed my version to be somewhat accommodating for a wet environment. So we try to keep it as open as possible so water can drain off if you get it wet at all. Well, we're going to add some expanded metal to the bottom and to the sides. I think he wants an added wall in the front. So we're putting a lot of extra bells and whistles in this thing, but the general gist of it is that it's just going to take the two of them and elongate it. It will no longer attach to a bicycle. It's going to be a push cart. And the only requirements or the constraints that we're working with is we want it to be able to fit in the bed of his truck, which is the standard 6-foot bed on a full-size truck. Now, we were trying to make it a little bit shorter because he has one of those toolboxes in the back, and that shortens the length. One thing I'm going to do first is address some of the issues. Okay, so when I initially designed this cart, the main idea behind my thought process was to keep this thing as compact as possible, since you're only really going to use it 2, maybe 3 months out of a year. Where are you going to store it afterwards? So everything folds down, the lids collapse down, the arms that would connect to the bicycle, they slide off and they're mounted with pins. Your wheels on the side, same thing, they're pinned. And that's where we had one of the issues. And let me do a quick demonstration on what our issue was. It's just a simple bolt. You put your wheel on. Okay, and we'll take a standard little pin here. I don't know what you call this, hitch pin, I guess is what this is. And there you have it. And as you can see, because of that, how quick and easy, you just pull this off. Should be easy. There goes your wheel. There you go, now you can store it. And the way we're setting it up is you just be able to put this in like so. You'd have the bolt could just stay in here, you know, and take your pins. There you go, nothing gets lost, and you just strap it together. And that's literally how big it is, other than the arm, which is longer, but you can see how compact this is. Maybe 6 to 8 inches is all you need. So, however, back to this silly axle idea, as you can already see, that's pretty wobbly. Well, when you have the size of this wheel, which is 20 inches, and as you see here, you're getting quite a bit of flexion here. Even when this is on here, let's see. Put this back together. I should have showed you this before I took it back apart. Okay. As you can see, quite a bit of wobble. So the first thing I'm going to address is stiffening this up. Okay. So here's my general idea. We're going to take a bolt and we're going to bolt it. There we go. Basically, we'll push that down. I get it nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. And what I'm going to do, because once again, I want everything to be removable. So then the solution is, the problem is like, okay, how do we keep this nut from wanting to back off on its own? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole through the nut and through the bolt, and we'll pin it. I probably won't use one of these. I'll probably just use a standard cotter pin, and we'll put it through there. Then that way there's no way this will ever come loose. We will take this, put the wheel on, and the beauty of these wheels too is the center post shaft, whatever you want to call it, axle tube, I don't know. It sticks out a little bit, just enough. What's great about that is then if you take another nut and you come all the way up against it, we can go, you don't want to go too tight, obviously. You don't want to crush anything, just so it's snug. And there you go. Oh yeah, see, right there, an example of that. It's maybe a little bit too tight. And there you have it. And look how much flexion now we have. Almost zero. And what I'm going to do with this nut is, it's not going to be a standard nut. I'm going to use a nylon lock nut to put on here. And I have thought about the idea of putting a pin in here as well, which means we can go back to this idea. And it's still a possibility, but I'm going to see how that works, because I'm thinking with the lock nut, it's not going to back off. All right, one true. Okay, the only reason that you may want a larger hole is it seems to be that as the hole gets larger, or these get thicker, they get longer. So this one's going to be pretty tight. This may not be long enough. Let's see if we can fit the next side bigger in here. There we go. Okay. And there we have it. Okay, so the next issue we have to tackle is the fact that wheels we're using, these wheels are smaller than the ones in the back. There's going to be a block of steel right here, just like on the other side, and then I'll have a hole drilled and a bolt will go through. That being if the wheels were the same. So what I'm going to have to do is lower that so that we're down 2.5 inches. Basically, I'm making a drop axle. So it'll actually be down here. That way the bottoms of the tire are on a level plane and the cart's not going to be going down all crooked. So, got the steel already on the bandsaw, and we'll get those pieces cut up and then get them attached. It's very crude, but it will do the job perfectly. you.